faces, I'm hearing voices telling me I'm not good enough. 'Cause everywhere I go, I'm seeing faces, I'm hearing voices. 'Cause everywhere I go, I'm seeing faces, I'm hearing voices.
last split push in order to make Worlds following the conclusion of the 21-22 season. And it's a roster that can definitely do it, Monkey, in Popu, Maru, and Shaolin.
Oh, you know what? You guys missed the entirety of that intro because I forgot to turn on our mics, but you got just right there. Popo, Maru, Shaolin, and we're going straight into this match because why not? This is going to be a big one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going now to the official match. I teased you with it all of a moment ago, and we started off a bit on a limp. Well, no limping no longer. In orange, it's going to be Agility, and in blue, it's going to be Team Ganders. You saw us showcase Team Ganders in the fall. Well, we now have a completely separate roster from them. At that time, they had Nemoto, Retra, and Popo. Well, Popo's now on Agility. So, do they have, and yes, we are using Agility instead of AGELITegg for the time being because they are a super quick little roster. So can the old school return of Nico, Retra, and then of course their newest team member in Gale, who has come in for this spring season, be able to upend the fast starters of Agility? We'll get to find out.
Well, Agility, very akin to their name. They're going to want to get off the spring split to a very good start because when I mentioned when we were muted that this team is sitting in third in points for the entire APAC North region, in the #1 spot will be able to book their ticket to Worlds following the conclusion of the 21-22 season. And they're going to start off on the right foot. They're going to get the first goal going in after that demo in the corner. Popo onto the final last remaining defense there, and the shot just going to go in from Maru. This team looking to make this last second push to put themselves on top of the APAC North leaderboard.
And if you guys didn't know, Popo is one of those creator style players. He's going to be one of those guys that is consistently going to be given chances to Agility to be able to make some big plays. Now, Maru came in. Originally, Akikansu was the main third for this team when they originally were called NIMT55 or NIMT55. It's a wonderful little card game. You guys should check it out. It's called Pick 6 for a reason, or Pick Up 6. But they've been able to pick up some big players. Maru was a stand-in player for the side of Tokyo Verdy. So, Quanzek, we're going to be talking about this for at least a couple hours as we're going to go through this match and the next. But the spring has shown that the strong have only gotten stronger.
Yeah, all these teams making these last-second roster changes, you know, it's their last chance to really prove their worth regarding any sort of points to be had left on the table. We're already 2/3 of the way through the season, and why not finish out everything with as big of a bang as you possibly can, and making these crucial roster changes after you have these few months of experience are going to help take that just a little bit further with regard to your season. And that's exactly what we're seeing out of either one of these teams. But Agility, they have that name change. They have that, not the roster change as it's NIMT55 converting over, as you said, but they're looking very good under these new colors.
Oh, Popo, he's trying to get that second connection, but Retra, again, who was original Team Ganders as well, able to find one solid touch. Going high, that's a drop low. Oh, is Maru gonna be able to get there in time? That's a nice cut. That's a secondary option. Oh, but the defense is showing up for Team Ganders. They had a pretty good showing throughout the closed qualifier. I believe they either went 3-0 or 3-1, which, you know, fairly impressive just to get through that in the first place. But they're holding fairly strong after Agility's been able to get this one. A great counter play. It's a setup over to Popo, and that will just drop in. Maru from downtown.
Popo didn't even need to help it along. Maru just gets one touch on the backboard. It goes the entire length of the field. Look at the power behind that one. And despite nobody touching it, it doesn't hit the ceiling, and it still goes in 105 kilometers per hour. What the heck, Maru?
Dude is built strong. He is very, very strong. They picked him up for a reason, and that's actually something else that is being tested, and that seems to always be tested in the first regional of all these splits, is how your new pickup will kind of work alongside maybe the dynamic duos that you stay consistent with, because Akikansu went to that sub position, and Maru now up on the squad for Agility is doing wonders. He did before, he's doing it again, And same thing's going to be wondered about a couple of other squads, especially when you look at Hilltop Picnic, when you look at Shirogane, and then when you especially look at Tokyo Verde getting signals.
Yeah, there's all these little roster changes, and the strong only get stronger, the rich get richer, and that's exactly how it's working currently in this APAC North scene. All the talent just going to the teams that have the best chance to get into these majors. And Worlds coming up here. As we see a pass coming out, this one's going to go a little bit wide to the right, and Popo will guarantee it does off the backboard. 50 goes into the corner. We will tick down on 30 seconds. Not too much casting of this specific game, but there hasn't really been much to talk about outside of now the hat trick for the squad of Agility. Popo gonna turn this one in, and it's another one from range, Monkey.
Yeah, and that's just winning your challenges, and we've seen fairly good defensive rotations out of Team Ganders, but they've also been caught out just trying to establish their offense, and the speed has been more favorable in Agility, and they've been able to really just kind of find those lanes quicker. So don't have to struggle too much. They find that tiny little gap right when you see that it's like a foot being over the line when you're trying to start a sprint in track, and they don't give them a single inch over that line before they strike on them again.
Why stop at 3 when you can have 4? Here's Shaolin just waiting in the middle. And Popo, what a nice little drop down pass. Takes the solo play along the top of the ceiling, banks it off that corner ramp between the ceiling and the wall, and all it takes is a little dinking from his talent from his teammate, who is talented nonetheless, to dink that one in, and that will be all that was said in this game one. Nico gonna immediately switch or leave the game. Maybe a little car swap coming in, boost that confidence, but Agility, very convincing game one here to start the day.
Yeah, that's you saw all of Team Ganders kind of huddled up together whenever this started off, and that's pretty much what I was expecting. But it's also the opening round of double elimination time, so we get to see more of what's in store for Team Ganders. If you guys are enjoying this so far, appreciate you guys are sticking with us through the slow start as we go into a big one from here momentarily. And Agility looking to try and go up into this game, and maybe find a 2-0, maybe even find a totality of a sweep if we can help it. Let's go ahead and check them out. But also, I mean, I was curious about you, Quanzek, because you got to see a little bit before with APAC South, and even more. How do you feel about the double elimination format, as it's just purely that instead of anything with groups or Swiss and in combination? Literally just a bracket.
Yeah, I was actually gonna touch on this the next time it got thrown back to me, so you just beat me to the punch there. I mean, the double elim Rocket League is tried and true. I mean, this is the roots of the game, and it hasn't really been seen over the past couple of years, but every Rocket League competitive season from like 2 to 7, 8, all featured a double excuse me, got something come my throat there, a double elimination bracket. And you know, it's just the way that things have been, and it's gonna make its way over here in this spring split. And I think it just goes to show each one of these different groupings over the course of these splits have really highlighted separate things. As this goal is gonna go in from Mario, just that double whiff on the backboard for Ganders allows Agility to get the first one here. But yeah, each one of these different formats have highlighted, you know, the strengths of teams. You had the Swiss, you had the groups, you had the what have you, but this double elim, it's the mentality game that's tested for all these teams, because you're not always going to qualify through the uppers.
No, you're not. And even more so, it forces the regular just teams that have always been there kind of at the top to be tested immediately. I mean, we got to see NRG. They almost went out 0-2. They in fact went out 1-2. And then you had team that I got to cast with a crew. They made top 8 after grinding it out and going 2-2 on the same day, but then you ultimately had to they got reverse swept by V1. So it's a matter of being ready immediately. There is none of this Mickey Mouse like feel good. There is no like, hey, you're okay. It is one extra try, and that is it. And man, what a shot from Shaolin, as we're able to get this one 2 up now for Agility.
Agility not going to need that second life. Yeah, these teams in the double elimination get a second chance, but that's it. No third and fourth. You can only go back to your ex so many times for that booty call. And it's only going to be that one opportunity. Agility not going to want to turn in that get out of jail free card too early here, as they're looking to go up 2-0 and this series and maybe look for a potential sweep to start the day.
You know, we need to send you to the club more often before getting you on a cast. That is the best call I've heard you ever say. That is great. Oh, the passing, maybe even greater. 1, 2, 3 comes in. Popo finishes it off, but look at this connection.
It just, Maru finds the teammate in Shaolin, and Shaolin off the backboard. It's the chemistry between these three right now. They knew exactly where everybody was, exactly where to place that ball, and I didn't see any brake light come on between those three cars. It was clockwork, finding each and every single one of their teammates on the hood, and it's a quick 3-0, which is essentially where we ended this last game. So this is looking even more dangerous for Ganders here in game 2.
No brake lights, just like the highway going around DC when everyone is trying to get home on time. And that's before rush hour, everyone. And during rush hour, it's brake lights the whole way down. Might as well be Christmas time. Beyond halftime of game number 2. Agility currently on up, and they have not allowed a single goal out of Team Ganders. This Team Ganders has been able to posture up a couple times, but we really haven't seen a good offensive. We've seen a lot of transitional plays, a lot of open space. Oh man, this could be a freebie. It's not quite a dunk on target, but you know, there's still a secondary option. Agility doesn't really ever leave the offensive box without at least taking 2 tries.
Yeah, they've looked very dominant, and there's no need to leave. You don't really need to shore up that third line when there's been very few shots coming through here for Ganders. If it's in the blue half the entire time, it'll make it all the more difficult to score. Though, with that being said, we did see 2 long goals this last game, but Agility just, they're making sure the offense gets on, and the defense is a second thought right now, as it's almost not needed. The Ganders can't even break past the midfield line, as we see it kept in 2 times in a row now. The double may open up some space, and Popo gonna have to retreat, but look at this, it's immediately sent back with that 50 to Maro's hood. Actually, Gil's gonna keep it in, so I'll eat my words for a second, but there it goes right back the other way. It's not much time that's going between these offensive attempts too.
Oh, a nice second effort though by Nico. Okay, so they finally break onto the board. Nico says sorry. They are able to break through, and just a step too far. I believe that was Shaolin. Could be wrong, but they were like, okay, this is coming off. Oh, and then they just got punished. So we go in and finally see Team Ganders fight their way onto the board. Through a little bit of extra double tapping and chaos.
Yeah, Shaolin got that one extra touch there at the tail end that I don't even think, or sorry, not Shaolin. Nico got that one extra touch near the end there that I don't even think they were expecting to get, and obviously neither was Shaolin. This could be a second getting turned in. Pass downfield finds Nico in the middle. They'll put their second on the board, and Ganders with some life here. Look at that passing play.
I think he meant to do this one.
That one was definitely intentional.
Yeah,
yes.
that was a wonderful redirect upfield. All of a sudden, a 2-goal turn, one through happenstance and one through calculations. We're able to see this become a 1-goal game. So Team Ganders getting back into this fight. Agility is blinking rapidly, like, okay, we'll get back to work. But of course, it's Mr. Popo. Oh, can he get this back? Not quite. It's going to find its way into the corner. Shaolin is in a foot race against Retra, who's been in these similar situations before. Gale dishing it up. That's going to be a waterfall. Ooh, what a trap. It's in the box. Popo will be able to catch it off his nose. 15 seconds left. I can't quite get the 1-2.
Yeah, the look was there, the read was there, just not the execution, not able to connect, and they're looking to hold on here with this remaining 7 seconds on the clock. Retra off the corner, gonna try to get help from Gale, but Maru does well to intercept there, and now it's just Agility's killing time, and they'll do just that. That 3-0 lead early in this game was enough for them to hold on, but Ganders, they had to look late to put that game to 3-2, so I won't completely rule them out of this game, but Agility, I mean, outscoring their opponent 7-2, and that first minute and a half in this game looked very dominant. And when the defense was tested, I guess it wasn't answered because they have no saves on the board, but they just answered it in turn by stalling out the clock.
Hey, Sometimes all you got to do is play the clock. You don't have to play your opponent the entire time. You can give yourself a chance. So we go into game number 3. Will this be a sweep to start off today? Team Ganders had a lot of promise, but of course, it's all about who's able to actually win it out. Let's see if Agility will be able to have a nice little sweep and give themselves some extra time before they head to round number 2.
Here's Maru off the sidewall. Gonna get that around Nico and onto Xiaolon's head. Off the sidewall. Popo to Maru. Oh my. Oh, he had it. He had the angle. It did have that bounce in there, and that gave the Gainers defense enough time to come in. But that right there is the peak of this Agility team. I mean, look at that negative angle shot. That would have been a clip and a half if it went in. It does not, and will remain 0-0 as Maru pinching this one down to the opposite end.
You can tell why they brought Maru in. He has experience, he has the mechanics, he has the creativity, and that's what this team is honestly about. Because sometimes, especially in like separate regions where you're establishing the parity of your top 8 in your squads, you build around 1, maybe 2 players, but all 3 on this team are just so dang good, and you love to be able to see that. Xiaolong coming from the outside angle, see if he can challenge against 2. Gale staring in the face of Mr. Popo, but Popo will be sent away. This one's just going to be knocked to the back wall, and it will give time for everyone else on Agility to rotate, but not before a big clang. We'll bang this one out and right back.
A little bit of ping pong here. Shaolin looking for a little doink touch to Popo, but it doesn't come true. Gale to the sidewall. This one stays off the wall for long enough to end up in the corner. This is actually on target off the crossbar, and sent a little bit higher there by the Agility defense. This one finds sway to the middle, and Maru gonna turn it in. I think it was just Shaolin taking a good 50 and ended up right in front of Maru.
Yeah, that was just Maru being in a great position, wide angle set. That is why you take up more than one zone whenever you do those kinds of plays. Xiaolon was already on left side. You don't need to squeeze too far to him when it comes to that midline. You just go to the outside right. If they win a 50 or if they get a pass to you, then you're able to lead that into open space. Great execution on the side of Agility, and we're now just about to end the 2nd minute of play.
The 3rd game in a row where Agility's been able to find that opening goal. Let's see if they're able to rattle off 1 or 2 more as they have in previous games. Good bump on Retra, but he will actually be able to collect this in the corner, helped along by Gale, and Retra there in support will take the ball on his hood. But over the top, Popo goes, good 50 onto the backboard. Demo comes out, Maru towards the net. It'll be wide left. 2nd attempt, also wide right. So testing either side, maybe the 3rd one will go down the middle.
It might. Yeah, well, it's not quite middle. It's middle adjacent. As it go to the bottom right corner, but just never giving up on the play. Popo sticking with it. A good pinch and just drops it to Maru, who's going to drop it inside of that right post. And, you know, they sent the defense going this way and that, and eventually they were able to get between them.
Like fans at a tennis match, just flicking that head back and forth. And oh my gosh, here's going to be a 4th one that gets sent into the back of Gander's net. Just the kickoff play here. Maru down to Xiaolon. And these guys, I mean, I'll say it again, Monkey, the chemistry seems to be there. They're always in tune with exactly where their teammates are. And that's the 3rd on the board for Agility. Gander's gonna need to have a similar comeback to how they did in the previous game, just to add 1 to their total if they don't want this series to be dropped in a sweep.
This is that kind of team that you look at and you just start having all the love for and no doubts about, because they're just executing so well. They're trusting in each other, their rotations are good, they're making smart decisions, and they're just outplaying their competition. Again, it's round number 1, but when you're doing doubles like that by Maru, and it's just an exclamation point to their performance.
Yeah, there's not an answer right now. I mean, anytime there's a player rotating through, they're looking for a bump, they're looking for a demo, they're connecting on every single pass, and the solo mechanical play is there as well. It's going to be a 4th for Agility, and this team looks like nobody can catch up to them. It's Maru off kickoff, getting a good 50. Let's see if this amounts to a 5th. Nico just trying to play the possession game and back pass that to Retra. But it will eventually get cleared out. Maru off the sidewall, a little bit dangerous, but look at the connection immediately turned back in. It was cut off this time by Retra, but you see that immediate connection transition pass out. The second it comes into the orange half, it is sent back immediately.
Yeah, and they usually are not overcommitting on any kind of these passes either. And if they do, it's because they have a third that will immediately be there for the defensive recovery. And another big 50 win, less than 90 seconds left in agility. Oh, does Maru get it? Does he leave it? He goes for the double. Does he get finished? It does. Xiaolon was like, oh my gosh, I have to adjust to this because it goes bar down and just kept bouncing and he just burns through.
I'd be curious to see what Xiaolon's boost totals looked like over that play. He might have started with 70 and ended with 8 in the tank, as there was quite a number of adjustments that needed to come through. But with that 5th goal, I mean, it's getting harder and harder for Ganders to stop this potential sweep. Here's Maru to the backboard, looking for a double. We'll find a 50. Xiaolon gonna come in to collect, but instead Popu, enough boost to make a play happen. 60 still in the tank, going for the far post, cut off by Nico. But with only 60 seconds left on the clock, this is looking like a runaway train, Monkey.
Oh, it is a bullet train to a victory land, and it has been on full throttle, full speed forever this entire game. Game number 2, this one got a little bit closer. Nico was able to score a couple, but that's all Team Ganders will be able to at least find in its majority. Popo with a full carry gets it over and beyond Retra and Nico. Gale trying to return it back, but this one, you can count this last half minute of play with 5 on the board and a big 50 win. This one won't bounce in, but this will bounce agility into round number 2, I think, fairly clean.
Yeah, it's nice to see agility come out with the sweep win. Gander's gonna get 1 for the board, make it 5-1. A little bit of feels good goal, but when you're dropping to the lower bracket immediately following these remaining 16 seconds, not sure how good you can feel. I'm happy for our boys closing out on a sweep, but it does mean we're gonna have a little bit of an extended break here between games, as we're like easily the first series to finish here in the first round. And typically how these go, everybody starts at the same time. So I guess there's the silver lining, or rather, what's the opposite of a silver lining? It's like the one bad thing. I don't know. Copper. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of opposite of silver. Would it be like charcoal? Like
that could work. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Either one. Sounds terrible when you think about it. Well, agility. They take this one in a 3-0 sweep. Honestly, had no doubts. Thought this one would be going fairly pleasantly, but we get to see this one go through. Look nice and looking smooth. So, looking at the top of the table, Maru obviously doing what he needs to do. Popo is honestly kind of like a dark horse, war horse, a bit of a worker. But I mean, Maru, what a great addition to the squad. And MT55 originally was, and now agility when they pick them up, and they've just like we said before, just become that much better.
Yeah, I mean, this team obviously looks like they took that one step above and beyond where they already were at, and this might be the team to beat. There's no better time to do it than now, Monkey, and considering how close this team is to the top of the table, right behind Detonator and Tokyo Verde, you know, 2 very solid teams, but if that series is any example of what's to come, I might be a little bit intimidated if I were them.
I mean, why not? Yeah, this is a squad that's like when winter already started and the winter split. MT55, the previous rendition, they beat Tokyo Verde in the opening regional, and that was when they were utilizing Akikansu as their main third before Maru joined. And then Maru joining, he was already well versed on Tokyo Verde when they were dominant in the fall split. So getting him possibly, I mean, already, not even possibly, he's here. He's working, and you see the level of mechanics that he's bringing. I like the collar pop. That's good. I wish I could do that. No, I can't.
I was just trying to line it up. It wasn't even the pop it, but you know,
it was nice.
We can.
we pop. But you know, this team has a real shot at making worlds. They really do. They're a few. I think they're about 300 points behind, only because of like finishing just behind, and Tokyo Verde has been a little bit more consistent. I am curious at what Tokyo Verde's gonna do when it comes with Sigums and how they're gonna work with that. Detonator, let's remember, they did really well in that close qualifier. they replaced NMT55, who could have potentially been at the LA LAN for the second major, or rather for the first major. So that's it's crazy. This is a 3-stack. You got Detonator, you got Tokyo Verde, and of course you've got now Agility. And if they ultimately can't get the points, then they still have a massive shot, just way bigger, be able to get to the London LAN, which is huge. And that's because that's major number, what, 3, 2? I forgot how many is this.
It'll be major 2 technically. 2. Well,
yeah.
Major 3 because Stockholm was the first one, right?
That's right.
But,
yeah, I forgot about Stockholm. For some reason that popped in my brain.
Because there wasn't a crowd.
There wasn't, because LA was the first crowd. That's right. So yeah. But I feel like this team can do it. Obviously, round 1 competition is just round 1 competition, but round number 2 goes down between, I think it's Aloha or True Parrots, but True Parrots have been, and Aloha have consistently had solid squads, so maybe they'll be able to show up.
Yeah, definitely no scrubs. They're 11th and 12th in points, but I did just want to quickly touch on the point scenario. It's ultimately out of Agility's hands, I think, unless Tokyo Verde absolutely bombs one of these majors, which, considering they've placed no worse than second every single time, it's going to be a tall task, but they are 500 points down, and they have 3 chances to make it up before the upcoming major. And then we'll see what all of that looks like in a culmination of worlds. But definitely not out of the question. Just going to need to hope Tokyo Verde places 3rd or 4th one of these times.
Yeah, and when it comes to that, it's a big, I guess, measuring stick about what Sigums is doing, right? Because Sigums originally was with Furlash and Doomsy, and then they took on, who did they take on? Hold on. This is why we have a lovely Wikipedia. Alim. So it was Sigums, Furlash, Alim, and then they benched Doomsy. Doomsy benched himself on the side of Hilltop Picnic. And now Alim and Furlash are still Hilltop Picnic. Sigums went over to Tokyo Verde, and Olpix, who was on Detonator whenever they made it over, is on Hilltop Picnic. Detonator took on, and you'll remember, Lunatic, who was on Shirogane. So we've gotten to cast all these squads that are consistently like a top 4. I'm not saying that I'm recruiting well, but I'm recruiting well. So
he's recruiting well.
We're getting to the right spots. So there is big chances for some of these squads to be able to make it. I am so desperately wanting for them to expand that upper wild card, because getting one
100%.
team for APAC North and South is just kind of ridiculous. I mean, look at the talent here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just representation, and I think the way that they're making up for that is their whole, like, oh, if you get points at the majors, you can unlock more spots for your region, but, you know.
It's not enough spots.
It's a way to get teams in there, but we're still not showcasing enough talent, and that can be said about Rocket League as a whole, as an esport. Like, being able to do more teams for those more shows for those qualifying teams that maybe aren't making it into day 2 and day 3 for the mainstreams would be phenomenal. I mean, there's so much talent out there that we're not broadcasting, but you hit the nail on the head there with, there just needs to be a little bit more highlighting for this APAC region, because you just saw what this Agility team can put out there, and they're sitting at 3rd on the table in points. So
I think because there's no longer junior regions, there's no longer sub regions, there's no longer, I think, developing regions. I think obviously talent is going to rise as you give that open door to more and more squads being able to make it. And everyone calls it a little bit of disrespect, and I can feel and see that stank of some disrespect when it comes to, all right, like, you know, why aren't we given a chance? No lesser being that being said than the sub-Saharan Africa region, SSA.
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
out, yeah.
Like, I hope and pray, like, you get to see Pirates and oh shoot, I forgot what they used to be just called Water, but you get like ATK, and I'm hoping those
DNMK?
DM, is
that who you're thinking of?
It's like the water mark. No, Bravado. So DNMK is definitely one of those teams, but ATK is another one. But I'm hoping, because they get 2 spots. They get their champion and they get their runner-up. If you're from any region that isn't North America, Europe, South America, or Oceanic, like MENA, sadly right now, MENA's kind of a one-horse squad. That's because Sandrock, or former Sandrock, now Falcons, is big. They've been kind of that. They're like one of the few that I'm like, all right, you need a solid second. Skites is okay over there, but they've got to make sure that this wild card bangs. Like, there's going to be 3 from Europe, 3 from North America, and I forgot the other accounts for all the other ones. I think it's 2 apiece. But you get 1 from APAC North and 1 from APAC South to make these regions like totaled. When that wild card comes up, you gotta just bang it out. Make sure it is the craziest qualifier that anyone's ever seen, and then that forces them to expand the upper like world spots regions, because I want that to happen, man. Like I want at least 2 coming from APAC North and South. Like, come on.
Yeah, it'll happen. I mean, these regions are in a spot where Sam and why am I blanking right now? Sam and I mean OCN has almost fallen down in the scene. Like, it used to be only North America and EU. And then OC would send in 1 or 2 teams, but you know, they're getting the same representation as Sam does now, and now we're finally, over these last season or 2, picking up MENA, picking up APAC, and Sub-Saharan Africa still absolutely 0 love, but it'll happen eventually. It's just it's a journey to get there, and I wish I could speed along the process, but you know, the Rocket League's doing whatever they can to pull in views, so you can't knock them for that. And if it's higher tier talent, then it'll be higher tier talent. But one of these games one of these days we're gonna get some sort of series or some sort of team or some sort of whatever that blows things out of proportion. All of a sudden, all eyes are on this region. So
I mean, when you got just the 1 game win by Detonator, people were like, oh, that was eye-opening. I'm like, oh, we got 1 win, and because the previous major, not a single game went. 0-9, Tokyo Verde in, out, on with their lives, done. So this region as well. And what's interesting too, because I mean, you and I are both casting APAC South. APAC North has been the only representative of APAC at this point.
That's true.
And so I don't know if that's it's weird, because we've seen APAC South be competitive, but you look at how that qualifier goes to get out of APAC, and it's a 4-horse race, but coming in clutch has always been the North out of Japan for the most part. And what's even funnier, they've changed up the qualifier now. I don't know if you saw that. So
I don't think I have.
So
No.
there used to be, you know, of the 4 teams, they would all go into semifinals, then a final, and then that grand final, and with a lower bracket. Now your top seed out of North and South will automatically be in a final. The second seed of North and South will be automatically on the lower side of the bracket. They got rid of the semis.
Oh.
Yeah, you only get 2 lives if you're the top seed. So, kind of huge.
Yeah, that's quite a big change. And, you know, that's that 1 day qualifier too, when you're only saying 1 representative from APAC. Like, if you say your team's having a bad day, like, what do? You just say, oh, it sucks, we'll get him in 3 months? Like, that's so brutal.
It
like,
is.
That's such a terrible way to go out. And it just, all it takes, everybody has them. All it takes is 1 off day, and all of a sudden your ticket to the major is completely gone.
Yeah. I would prefer, I mean, and of course, I'm hoping RLCS, as we go from RLCS 21-22 to 22-23 into the next season, be it 11 to 12, whatever you're going to call it. I'm really hoping that they expand out that, you know, as the money comes. They're seeing lands already be great. I mean, just the LA land, everyone's like, oh my God. Like, I'm already getting ready to go to Dallas, or Fort Worth rather, whenever the Dickies Stadium for Worlds is going to happen. I don't know if you're going to be there, Quanzek, but I'm going. I don't care. And so they're seeing, all right, this has got some drive. And I think you and I can agree, when we're looking at just, I mean, this region alone, if you got at least a top 4 from each region to give yourself a representative, that'd be better, because Verdi, Detonator, Agelite, Hilltop Picnic, bam. There's at least 4 great contenders out of the north. So like, why not? And then you've seen South with Game and Gladiators, with Godspeed. Now I guess what was it? Asphyx's Minions. Who is there? Oh man, I almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about. Who's in the APAC South?
Who's the one who just won? Why am I blanking on this?
That was. It was Meta Power.
Meta Power, yeah.
Yeah.
Meta Power.
Yeah. So, yeah. I want to see how these regions will be able to bang it out. But we're also gonna take a short break. Yes. 1620 Kings that now they are. Appreciate you, SRK, for reminding me. Thank you so much. We are paying attention to you guys. Appreciate you for being with us. So we're gonna take a very short break. We are looking at what the remainder of this bracket is currently turning into. Before we go to break, let me see what some of these results are. So Tokyo Verde is currently 2 up on top of HMD. I don't know if that stands for something, but MD. Hilltop Picnic and Method of Madness, are they on the main channel?
They are not.
So then who in the world and why in the world are they not playing? Hold on.
I don't. At least I believe them showing a game, and it should have been not them.
All right, let me
It's
check.
Triumph and Detonator on the mainstream right now.
Okay, well then I don't know why they haven't started
They
yet.
haven't started.
Yeah, I don't know why. So
Although Method of Madness has a team stream, you can check
they
out.
do. Also, we are one of literally 2 team streams. If you guys can, make sure you go support them as well. Method of Madness picking up their squad. I forgot who they originally had, because I remember seeing Method of Madness like a lot. Let's see. They picked. Where did these guys come from in the first place? I remember seeing
It's been on Method of Madness for a while.
like a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they picked up C-Vent. C-Vent was like the colorful like plume of like triangles that kind of looked like the NBC logo for like back in the fall. So they picked up C-Vent way back. That's cool. Yeah, so let's see, what were some of the other results that came through? Zephyrs 3-0'd Inside Joke. Shirogane, let's see if this has been updated at all. Shirogane are currently down 1-2 to Grace's Blaze, I believe it's Refine. Detonator up 2-0 over Triumph. Well, I don't know who Triumph were, if they were a pickup or otherwise. Inside Joke used to be Team Inherits. Aloha and True Parrots are 1-1 with each other right now. And Nor is actually 2-1 over Blast. So we got done with our match really fast.
Yeah, for sure. Our charcoal crust was that it took all but 3 games, and very swift ones at that, for Agility to come out on top. But I don't know, coming out on the sweep is definitely good. I'm not gonna say like, oh, make it go to game 5 next time.
Right.
I'm happy for the team, but
Yeah.
you know, it gives us a little bit more time, I guess, to talk about the RLCS esports scene as a whole, especially APAC. So
if you're just now joining us, appreciate you hanging out with us. Fake time zone, real time zone. And if you're just now getting up, or if you're maybe just now about to go to sleep, welcome. I know Quanzek is feeling the pain of not going to sleep. I woke up bright and shiny.
I woke up at like 2 p.m. today. I'm fine.
Oh, okay. So you're like, well, within your like 12 to 13 hour stretch right now. I gotcha.
Trust me, I've been packing up my place, getting ready to move, and a couple nights ago, I literally like binge watched all like 4 or 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I ended up going to sleep at like 7 a.m. Dude, my life is in shambles right now. I'm just working and packing, and non-existent sleep schedule is what's going on my end. So
I mean, you know, you can do whichever. 1338. So that's oh man, you're lucky, SRK. We are up. This is I know you may know at this point, but it is East Coast US early. If you're getting ready for work, welcome. Team Frontline is currently being a bro and showcasing for the wonderful APAC region. Every single split, we've chosen a team because I love APAC and I love Rocket League and I like to not have to go to work on a Friday and I'd rather be casting. So some of those excuses. In fall split, we had Team Ganders, a different version than what the Team Ganders you guys just saw. In the winter split, we had Shirogane. And now this time around, we have the awesome Blossom Agility. It says it's spelled in like what we could surmise as AGELITE. And maybe that's right. No, AGELITE, if you're watching this, or maybe people know, if it's AGELITE, sorry. If it's agility, then we've been saying it right. I don't know. But we're being creative, so.
Agility makes a lot more sense for me if you're in the Rocket League scene. It's just a spelled AGELITE, so we definitely could be wrong. But I'm gonna cross my fingers and say that we aren't here.
Yeah. If anything, we'll be corrected. Also, if you haven't checked them out, I believe they are AGELITE GG on their Twitter. So. Yeah. Sure. What? Do you do an all-nighter left of work? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, enjoy working. AGELITE. Well, okay. I was also wondering if it's AGELITEgg.
Yeah. Put a Japanese accent on that, and it would probably sound really nice. I just also do not want to absolutely disrespect somebody. So. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. Look, I know. Ohayo gozaimasu, and you know that's good morning, but I know over there it's evening, so isn't that konnichiwa? Like, hold on, I'm not gonna bury that in a terrible. Isn't konnichiwa
just
like,
hello?
I learned this a month or two ago. It's hello, but it's like a formal hello. Like it's like greetings for us or something like that. Like it's like what you say to like somebody older or in a position of power or something. It's
konbanwa, by the way. So. Also, that shift is terrible. 7 p.m. or 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. No, thank you. That is.
I worked a similar shift last year, Cher. I feel your pain.
You miss out on the world. Like the only good thing about that is because it just is gone. The only good thing about that kind of shift is that 1, people shouldn't be bothering you. 2, you can do your what do you call it? You can do your errands during the middle of the day when everyone else is working. Because if you work a regular shift, then you never have time because everything is about to close. So maybe actually he's living his best life. I don't know. Maybe he's actually doing the right thing. All right.
I know I was a year ago. I don't know when we're trying to cut the break, so you can cut the break now if you want to. We've just been vibing here for a minute.
I'm taking one more time. We probably will be taking a short break because we've vibed enough to be able to get to this moment. All right, updates. Tokyo Verde 3-0'd HMD. Hilltop Picnic currently 1-0 over Method of Madness. Make sure you go check out their team stream. You can find it on the Liquipedia as well. Shirogane and Grace's Blaze, they're in game number 5. Zafers 3-0'd Inside Joke, formerly Team Inherits. Detonator just 3-0'd Triumph. Nor just 3-1 Blast. We, of course, 3-0 Team Ganders. And Aloha is up 2-1 over True Parrots. We over here will be playing the winner of True Parrots and Aloha. You guys will see us right after this.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to. 'Cause you don't really know now. It's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I. Everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
To be the one that you could trust, even though now we're just a memory. I just hope that was enough. Whenever you make right, don't forget me, don't forget me. Whenever I may die, don't forget me, don't forget me.
and talk, but you sleep in my clothes. No, it ain't right. I've been stressing at night. We're together, but I feel alone. How long do I stand here in the fire? How long do I try before I'm on my own? How long do I walk across the wire? Stay till we fall. We don't know how to act. We get chaotic and say things we wanna take back. Is there a reason that we're still together? How long do we stand here in the fire? How long do we try before we're on our own? How long do we walk across the wire? Stay till we fall.
This always seems to happen. I'm trying to keep them from using the test lobby against me, but oh my god, it's gonna do the scoring animation too. Okay. All right. Test lobbies are not fun, but as you can see, we're getting ready for our next one. So appreciate you coming back to us. We're getting ready for our next match. It's gonna be against Aloha for the favor of agility. I'm Monkeyman in the booth. And you guys should maybe listening to some music right now. Okay, I turned the music off. Get rid of music. Look, every single time I do an APAC production, it gets like ridiculous. But welcome. We're getting ready for match number 2 as we're going against Aloha. I don't know why it is APAC always messes with me, man. Like everything.
I'm only laughing right now because I've experienced almost all of your Apex streams, and there's always one error in them that usually never happens anywhere else. So I don't know what it is.
It's because the server's out of my control, man. It's not even fair. Okay.
That one's fair. One's fair.
Either way, we're getting ready for the next one. Hope you guys are enjoying it. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be crazy. Aloha, the one remaining player that is on this team, and it's only because I haven't looked into the other ones specifically, but Battle Lane, who I've seen, he was on a team called Doggo, and then Dogma, Mikan, and what was his other? What was the other name? Oh my gosh, we're on that team. I think. Dang it! I'm gonna go look this up. I just had a whole like thing of like the timeline of all going all the way back. But basically, this region is so kind of compartmentalized together. It's neat to see where they ultimately ended up because they were on the Japan closed qualifier for the Intel World Open together. So I think I have the team. Oh my gosh, it was Battle Lane and Nemoto. Yes. So Nemoto, who was on Team Ganders, as well as Makan, and so then they were together, and that formed Team Ganders, and then was with Popo. It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon out here in APAC North.
Yeah, everybody just feeds off of each other. Lots of nepotism going on regarding the rosters, but why not keep the talent there, especially when it's good enough? We will get underway here in game one. It's going to be Aloha versus our own home Agility, and that one's going to go off the post. Agility trying to get on the board early, but they will not be able to do so as the fourth man will deny them.
So I wanted to make sure I corrected that. In blue is Agility, and in orange is Aloha. So luckily I was able to fix that one in the nick of time. So this one will actually be an early lead, the first that Agility has had against them in the past 2 series, and it's the opening few seconds of play.
Didn't take long for Aloha to get on the board, and that's a really good shot there by Tenon, however you pronounce it. Hopefully somebody can correct me. If either one of those pronunciations is one, I will settle on one in the coming seconds, but they were able to slot that one in. Very well placed shot. Got a little bit of help from the fourth man, which denied Agility on the other side, but you know, you'll take all the luck you can get as Maru trying to throw away luck and force that one in, but not able to win the 50 straight into the back of Aloha's net.
So after all these teams have gone through the opening ringer, you go from 16 to 8. So now round number 2 is big. If you're able to get into this, then you have a big chance of going top 6, as Popo will be able to get one from the ceiling, and we are all tied up.
Really good read there by Popo. Just getting there first before the Aloha defender can. Finding the equalizer. Did not take long. We've seen Agility, they don't play defensively. They just fight fire with fire. If one goes into their net, they're like, okay, we'll just score 2. They don't really care about scoring 1 and then maybe turtling down. There's been very little to no defense out of this roster. As we might see Morrow put in a second here. Double tap, he finds contact, but not towards the net. Shao unable to find the piece, but turned aside by a 50 from Aloha, and they're doing very well defensively, much better than could be said about Ganders last series.
Yeah, for the previous series, we saw a lot of long bomb style plays and lots of punishments on those counter plays, nearly able to do the same. Maru is able to get a demo as the same thing is done unto Agility. Keeping this one in the forward half against Aloha. Popo will take it away from battle lane. Xiaolon, he'll call up Maru. Maru wins it. Oh, he goes underneath Potechi. And that'll now have Agility on top.
Look at the car control here by Maru. Able to elevate very quickly and just stalls long enough. Slows down the ascent to that ball until Potechi sends his ball, or sends his car, excuse me, wide of the mark. Just far enough so that he can play it underneath him, and Maru time and time again has shown out for the squad as he gets a dunk. That one won't be on target, but I mean, this pickup in Maru is definitely looking like the catalyst thus far for this roster.
Can't wait to see if even more of this will come out. Xiaolon, every single piece of this Agility squad has been great, but it's definitely like those highlights I think are going to come out of Maru even more. He just has that experience. He has that speed. I mean, there was a reason Tokyo Verde had him for a hot minute. Popo, though, he's exactly the kind of guy that if your initial main man Maru can't do it, Popo is going to have the follow-ups that will. He gets it right off of 2, and it was Maru that initially was challenging and set that one up.
It's not just one man that you need to look out for in this Agility squad. We've seen time and time again that anybody can step up for the plate. Yeah, they all play their roles. We saw a 1-2 connection between Maru and Xiaolon, but given the chance of Popo can shoot, they're going to hit the target 9 times out of 10 as Maru will get beat out by Potechi here. It's going to fall into Popo's lap, and he looks for Maru down onto the backboard. Maru can't find contact though because of that. Aloha back down the other way, looking to find 2 in the remaining 2 minutes. That was almost 1, but Xiaolon able to get a piece of it.
They fell early, but it did not fall all the way down. So Agility has been able to give 3 in a row now to Aloha. Aloha looking for the breakouts, but you know, just solid, smart plays from Agility have kept them on the forward foot instead of having to lean back and see what they can field. A big demo. Actually get rid of Tenon, and that will be a good grab and go. Xiaolon will be able to get this one, and that's now 4 in a row.
Physicality coming through here. Popo just opening up the net, taking that corner boost, and you know, the boost was just insult to injury. It didn't necessarily matter for that one specific play. The demo opened up enough of the net for that ball to just roll in, and agility not slowing down whatsoever. As a fifth one's gonna go in off the kickoff. Look at the placement.
From the side, Popo gets a big win, but Xiaolon is just immediately there. Battle Lane never had a chance. Kickoffs are a brutal mistress. And you know, Aloha came in, they're like, you know what? We took down True Parrots. Okay, which honestly is a very fitting thematic matchup if you really consider Parrots and Aloha, just kind of nice. But after that first lead, it's been kind of a mess, and Agility's been able to lock in Aloha for a long time. A minute 15 to go.
Yeah, Agility let in their first goal against them for the first time today, and they said, okay, we want that back. We don't like the way this is going. Let's just put 5 on the board against you and control this series like we intended to, as a fifth one is tested. Maru rising up to get that ball, but battling will come in to collect. Actually, transition play, but they missed the net. Very good look by Aloha, but the shot from Tenon doesn't come out and instead goes wide of the mark.
Big takeout. Battle Lane seeing if we can get even more, but no. Midfield well tended. Someone will go over and wide. Will the putback be there? Yes, it will, but it will actually go underneath the crossbar. Unfortunate looks for Aloha. Now, I do like that they've kept the pressure on. Battle Lane will be able to get at least one. And honestly, if they grab a few of these opportunities that just didn't get to the back of the net and put them better on target going to game 2, they can keep this much closer.
Yeah, I mean, considering that they should have 3 goals right now instead of 2, this one doesn't necessarily represent what the scoreline is showing. I mean, Agility's still playing lights out, still capitalizing on every single opportunity that has come their way. But they will hold on to this 3-goal lead, and I think you hit the mark very well there, Monkey, that Aloha, they're not out of it yet as we see these flashes from them in these team plays. They just haven't been able to execute, and they let in too many goals too quickly. They will drop this first game 5-2. The ball hits the ground, so Agility, get that little tick on the scoreboard, and maybe we see 2 sweeps in a row, as I just realized Xiaolon is actually still repping that NIMT 55 logo.
I mean, it's old school, man. Like if you don't have the new logos, then you know you get what you get. But this was a squad that was doing some good work, and even for all of the good that we see out of Maru, honestly, give some love over to Xiaolon and Popo, and especially Xiaolon, because I flashed what like Popo can be, the mechanical god just like Maru, but Xiaolon has the ability to be the glue to this squad in a big way. So glad to be able to see it. We'll go into game number 2 of this matchup to see even more, and we got to see if we get this coming up with some earnest just downhill running from the side of Aloha, because so far Agility, and again, we don't know if it's AGELITEgg or Agility, but Agility just has not been stopped.
Not whatsoever. They've yet to put up, what's the lowest amount of goals they've had in the game? What a shot there by battling, a little ground pinch. How fast was that ball moving?
It was moving very fast. What's the thing? So at least 60. I think is because I think if I remember correctly, 123 kilometers per hour is 77 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's about 3/5.
Yeah,
is the conversion.
So it's like, I don't know, somewhere around 70 miles an hour. But a nice floor bounce pinch, be able to just establish a lead for Aloha. We did see an early lead for them, and Popo finds one in traffic. The defense crumbles under the shot.
I'm getting ready for 5 unanswered. That's what we saw the first time. We could see it again here. Is Xiaolon just gonna fake out the defense more so than anything? They jumped for that ball, but way too high to make contact, and it's just gonna be the second man following through, bearing that one into the left of the net. And we were in this situation last time. Aloha got the first goal, then dropped 5 in a row. Let's see if history repeats itself. This one with the mode. Popo's committing as the third man. Look at the aggressive playstyle by Agility. And they don't get burned for it. There's immediately 2 people back, and they will step to the plate to make that save. It was a dangerous shot, but Shalon put his car in the way, put his body in the way. And that one stays out of the net.
Hey, look. Cheer, that's the only reference point I had because that's the only other speed I looked up, okay? That's the only reason I even know what that is. But Aloha doing a lot better in this game. They've had some good transitions. Battle Lane seeing if he can do it himself. He's faking out everyone, but Maru was able to make a great recovery. That was a great play.
The mind games just coming to the forefront. He got everybody outside of the third man, but it may not matter. Oh, that Agility was able to get that save as back the other way went Aloha. Now we're seeing the defense get tested for the first time all series by Agility. Thus far they're holding strong, but they're not able to break out of their zone yet. Battling into the corner, can't make contact. It's gonna be Maru take to 50, but this one actually is dangerous. 10 and can't beat Popo, and out they finally go.
I don't know if any of you guys know, as some of the reference points I was trying to make for Battle Lane, when they did that Intel World Open for all of the Japanese regional qualifier, it came in top 4. So there's a reason why he's making all these juke steps, making some great plays. He's got a lot of potential. And that's where a lot of the region talent can be highlighted, is what they've been able to do in like these cross regionals, especially in stuff like this. It's always about just finding the consistency of a team that will stick with you for the long haul. That's what Agility has been able to now find, is that they have the remaining dynamic duo, Xiaolon and now Popo, who's gone with them from winter now into spring after the trade-off after fall from Team Ganders. And now Maru, who's been able to come in and really solidify this roster. We're still tied 1-1 with coming up on 120 seconds remaining for game number 2. Aloha trying to not let Agility have anything for free going through this bracket.
They've done a much better job of shoring up the midfield, which is really where they fell short the last time. Agility just took unrivaled shots from whatever they pleased for the most part, and that hasn't been the case this time around. Defense definitely much better for Aloha, and you're seeing Agility not being able to set up. This is a pass over to Popo. Popo looking for Maru with the give and go. That connection does not manifest itself. This one down to 10 and can't make contact. It's these attempts from either team at this point, but neither one of them able to capitalize, and we're still all scored up as we're reaching a minute 20 into this game, and it's gonna be Agility looking to remain undefeated so far. A shot opportunity, turn aside.
Popo with a big challenge as a turnaround for Xiaolon as a bouncer. Will Maru come in to finish it? You bet. No, it's Popo. He will go back up. That was a 1-2-1. It goes right back. Popo with a challenge. He never gave up on the play. He said, Maru, I'm connecting up, and he leaps and falls. And that'll be a nice ball into the net, giving Agility that wonderful lead.
It's just the rebound attempts more so than anything for Agility. The second and third follow-ups to the initial shot, more often than not, are finding the back of the net for the squad. Popo with the flip reset. Oh my gosh. He got the flip. He faked out the defender, but could not capitalize and use the flip to get enough power behind that ball. He did everything except for the last step. Ooh, that was close. And now because of it, they don't have that insurance in their pocket, but still up a goal. Clock is ticking down to his 30-second mark. The shot comes out for 10. It just sneaks around Xiaolon, and that's the equalizer.
That's Aloha, never letting go. And that was Maru, a rare moment that he has to make a tough read and actually can't get back to it. But Aloha has been stingy. They have not gone away easily, and they've been able to keep kind of going with Agility by locking them in on some small ball, acute style, just dribbling plays. Oh, looking for maybe a bump. Popo won't be able to find anyone. We'll be able to get one touch now out of Tenon. Tenon working to be able to get some boost and the ball. He only gets one, which is the boost. That's a setup over to Potechi. And Potechi will actually get a late lead now for Aloha.
Potechi just able to be faster here. There was a demo that came out on the far side, but I don't believe it mattered. The shot may still have come out regardless. There might have been a chance for the save there. I'll eat my words as it came out closer than I thought, but still. That'll be 3-2 for Aloha. Popo, good kickoff, actually beats 2. And it's a shot up by Maru, and just like that, it doesn't matter. We're back and forth here as the clock's going to continue to tick down as we get closer to overtime, 3-3 now.
Oh, that little bump that Popo, that little nudge onto Tenon. That was just enough to keep him out of reach. This is a shootout to the very end. It took 5 seconds to get the tying goal. Let's see if one more transition will turn it into a lead for either squad. Battle lane over to Tenon. That's a drop off. Potechi puts it into potentially dangerous waters. Oh no, it's gonna go. Oh, it hit the ground, and we actually get to OT purely because this was an inch short of the goal line. Popo maybe with the kill shot. Oh, and he misses. Maru with the floater, the third. It's chaos from the kickoff.
That ball would have gone into if Aloha dropped this game in overtime. That's absolutely heartbreaking, but they haven't dropped it yet. Popo, good backboard defense. This one's off the sidewall. Maru chasing it down, but in front of him is Tenon. This ball actually going towards net. Is it on? It is. Shaolin going to be able to rotate back to find it into his own corner. Gonna look for a bump, but not able to find it. Good 50 there by Potechi, but Maru comes in. It's over battling. No, it's not. Into the corner he goes. 30 seconds left, and this overtime has not slowed down whatsoever, Monkey. I shouldn't say 30 seconds left, but 30 seconds into overtime, and I can't, like, neither one of us has been able to catch our breath. It's non-stop action. This could be another shot. Good 50 that goes into the opposite corner for Agility.
Man, they just slammed some caffeine, sugar, and anything else that's going to give you just that flash of energy. Aloha, they recognize 2 big things. One, Agility is someone that they got to take down, especially if they want to get into this upper segment of this double elimination bracket. That would put them into the top 6 no matter what. Same to be said for Agility. But 2, they cannot give up a second game, and they are fighting for their lives to tie up this series. Shaolin has a great shot on target. It will go through! Oh, bar down and in. What an angle!
Was it Popo body blocking the net here? I saw Popo in front of Battle Lane. I don't know if that made a difference. It doesn't look like it did, but just having that blue car in the way might have thrown off Battle Lane regardless. And what an overtime. What a game. Aloha fighting down to the very last end, but not able to ultimately win now in overtime. And you have to think back, Monkey, to that shot in regulation that hit the ground about, I don't know, half a second too late. It was gonna go in, but it just didn't have the air time to get into the back of the net before it bounced.
That one could have been Aloha going up huge and getting themselves somehow, if you're Aloha, you have to erase that from your memory. The woulda, coulda, shoulda could have been big, and they could have already been big into a tied 1-1 going to game 3. Instead, you ended up in an OT where, you know, shooter's gonna shoot. There's a lot of great shooters on Agility, and they will end up now in a 2-0 run trying to be on well, they'll be on match point, but trying to go into another sweep of this matchup. And what a crazy matchup it is. So we'll end up here in game number 3. We're gonna stick apparently into the Aqua Dome because, you know, Aqua Dome is best dome, and we'll work our way into it one more time. So Battle Lane did a lot of great work here. I want to see if we can do even more.
Yeah, that's what actually one thing I'm worried about. Battle Lane's doing almost everything for this Aloha squad. We pointed out his name a couple of times, being the sole member of this roster that hasn't necessarily moved, whereas a lot of the other top tier teams have hand selected their talent. I'll get interrupted so rudely here by Shaolin as he's gonna send a dart into the corner. Look at the pace behind this one.
Oh man, you gotta feel, because Potechi didn't know if he had to be able, if he could rotate from the out of the box or not. He had Tenon behind him, but that single bit of stutter to check and he recognized that he was just too late, and heat was put behind that shot. If we want to see Aloha be able to extend this series, they've got to make use of what they had been before, which is just even more of these counter plays, because they're going to get shot on. It's just happening, and Agility is just going to do that all the time.
Yeah, getting shot on is an absolute given in this series, and what's really concerning with this Agility squad is every single game we've had, there's been a new member from their team on top of the scoreboard. It's just a rotation. As the second one's going to go in for Shalon. That's the second of the game, and it's Popo just air dribbling it out past the third man and hand delivering that to Shalon's hood. He will say, thank you very much. You're an amazing teammate for making my scoreline and stat line even bigger.
I like the little front flip. He had an end over end touch after Popo gave it to him. That's confidence. I would look at that and then miss. I would, which apparently I called into fruition from there, as Maru can't get that one connecting, but it doesn't matter because so far Shalon and Popo have just been speedsters.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be very satisfying if you're one of the members on Agility. You're just, okay, yeah, this is the game I get carried. I did it last game. I don't need to sweat 24/7 like maybe Battlelane's doing on the opposite end. The point I was making was that Battlelane has been at the top of his team scoreboard each and every single game, and it's been something different for Agility. It's a rotation between them with who sits on top, and just having that flexibility in your roster in order to make plays with any of your players just goes to show the talent that you have, and they're using it to go up 3-0 here, almost 4-0, but Shalon can't catch up.
It's trust, it's faith, it's pixie dust, it's everything that you need out of a good squad. Because if one cannot take over at the helm, then the other ones can fill the gap. A great bit of a pre-jump by Maru. He's looking to get it out of the corner, but just can't quite connect. If you're having an off time, an off performance, and you're all right, Popo has been a great goaltender right now. He's going to get in front of Potechi and keep this one from having any kind of potential. Maru. Again, Maru's just kind of like, all right, I'll try some of this. Oh, what a dig by Shalon from inside the pipes, and Popo will be able to transition down, and we're at the halfway mark already of game 3.
Maru's just kind of sitting there like, okay, wait. Okay. I wanted to shut up that sentence if he was able to hit that double tap, but he's kind of just flinging himself at balls like, yeah, this is mine to go for. I can't get there though, so I'm just going to make it look like I tried, and then I'll just go back into my rotation. I'll just scare you guys just a tad bit. But it's Aloha still looking for their first one on the board here in this game 3. If they don't find it, it'll be Agility with their second sweep of the day, and making this one the quickest APAC streams I've ever done. Because we won't have a third game if they do win the series.
Oh, we won't have a fourth. But we also, oh yeah, third match rather, yeah, because this team will be assured top 6, which is awesome, which is a big deal. When we talked about the double elimination format, that's what this renders. You, on your first day especially, if you go 2-0, you're top 6 no matter what. You're top 4 in the upper side of the bracket. Well, you know, with potential to be able to get to that final, especially depending on who's coming out of it. But top 6 regardless. And in terms of points, that's big. And in terms of potential for higher level availability, it's even bigger. Maru, the dude can't find a chance. They're like, no, Maru, you don't get to have anything.
He hasn't needed to, though.
No.
I mean, we've seen him flopping at a few balls, but his team's still up 2-0, and here's Shalon with the individual solo play, not able to make his way back around the ball. He got around the ball. That's a fact, but not able to make contact, rather, is what I'm searching for there is Popo. Good 50, and they're just looking to stall time at this point. Clock's ticking down. It's under a minute. Maru will backflip. That'll be his 4th or 5th time he's gone for the ball, not able to make contact. We're clowning on him, but he's been at the top of the scoreboard for Agility the majority of the games, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yep.
And he's playing at a level neither me nor Monkey can play at in this game, period. So we will get off our high horses for a little bit and give him props in this remaining 30 seconds.
It's great whenever, like, you're so good that you're like, all right, I can just trust in Popo and Shalon and just in the teammates to be able to execute. And Popo just does this themselves. Battlelane got slightly abused by Maru, and then he tried to leap, couldn't keep up or make the read away from Popo. But yeah, this is just a great team. 3-0, 20 seconds left. They've really proven, hey, our offseason, we picked up Maru, and we're even stronger than we were before.
Yeah, they're looking like they could run APAC North right now. I mean, not Shirogan, excuse me. NMT55 was already very good before the split, but with the roster change, this team might have just unlocked a new potential, a new height, as they will close out their second series in their second sweep of the day and book their ticket into top 6, book their ticket into the upper semis for day 2 tomorrow. And it was in a very convincing fashion. And this is a team that, you know, if I'm Detonator right now, if I'm Tokyo Verde, maybe I'm coaching some of my competition in APAC North just to hope this team drops into lowers at some point over the next couple of regionals.
Oh yeah, this is a squad you're gonna have to be afraid of. This is one that you're gonna need to be looking at, because this is a good team overall. And sorry, I was putting some GGs in the chat. So okay, all right. So we've now gotten to see them. And when we look at this this squad into APAC North, I mean, I'm gonna go check out the bracket, but welcome to the top 6, as this group is in a familiar position. They know the work they have to do. So I'm gonna refresh this bracket, see what's been going on the other side of Madness. So believe it or not, remember Hilltop Picnic, they picked up Olpix. That was from Detonator. It's Furlash, Alum, and Olpix. They took game 1 off of Tokyo Verde. So interesting scenes going around. Zephyrs currently beating Shirogane 2-0. That one I kind of expect a little bit more. Zephyrs has been really consistent. Shirogane has had to kind of trade out some players, so that one's kind of eh. Detonator at 2-0 over Nor. And Detonator, they had picked up AGELITEgg from Shirogane, and you and I had always talked about AGELITEgg going crazy. Well, it's because he was one of the better players that was over there before all this shakeup happened in the APAC scene. So, I mean, with Detonator and not having Olpix, you can see the power slide. That will showcase itself even more as the Hilltop and Tokyo Verde matchups continue. How do you think Agility or AGELITE, however it's said, will be doing in just a potential against a Detonator if they do make it over Nor?
So if you refresh again, there's been a second update. Detonator did sweep Nor.
Okay, so then here we go.
And Tokyo Verde took game 2 over Hilltop Picnic. So Agility and Detonator, this one's very crucial for both these teams. I mean, they are neck and neck in the points. Basically, whoever wins this will take over that second place spot. And, you know, Detonator's a really solid team. They have that roster change with AGELITEgg. And, you know, they made some waves at the major, so I'm gonna... I can't root against Agility, and it's not because I'm on the stream, it's because I got to watch their 6 games here after that roster change, and they looked like absolutely nothing can slow them down. Even if you get an already top-tier team who picked up AGELITEgg, I still think Agility is just gonna be able to play on top, play to their level, and whatever offense Detonator's going to throw at them, Agility is just going to meet twofold, even if they do let 1 or 2 goals go in.
I was talking to Maru, and great guy, awesome dude. He was we're wishing him great luck to be able to do great things into the forthcoming bracket. And of course, if you guys haven't been seeing all this stuff, make sure you go to the Liquipedia for Rocket League and be able to check out that big bracket that is being showcased for the APAC North. They're all going through it today, and you know, this is a region that has to be taken seriously. They've been able to get at least 1 game when they go to the big majors, but these top 4 squads have a lot to be able to say about each other. I like this matchup of a Detonator into Agility or AGELITE. I'm gonna be asking Maru how you say it. I hope he tells me by regional number 2. But if you guys haven't also checked out and followed AGELITE or Agility, it's AGELITEGG on Twitter. So at AGELITEGG or AgilityGG. And so you make sure you go and follow them. or AGL win if you want to get a nice little hashtag for them. And of course, if you want to be able to join us, as we're going to be doing this again, going for some more APAC North action in 2 more weeks, all you gotta do is come right back to this channel. I'll make sure to post it in all the same places you probably saw it before, and you can have a great time watching some more of this squad, but also continue to watch this region. I'm excited to see who's going to be showcasing themselves going through all of this. But you guys have been awesome. Quanzek, any last things before you probably finally go to bed?
I'm crossing my fingers for Agility that Hilltop Picnic is able to come over the top of Tokyo Verde. Because if Tokyo Verde drops down to lowers and maybe gets knocked out, oh my gosh, this top 3 table for APAC North gets all the more interesting if they do drop early into day 2. I mean, that's going to be very, very interesting to watch, but we'll see how that develops. And I'm just looking forward to the rest of this split for APAC North, seeing the talent that we saw today. I'm excited for Regional 2. I'm excited for the rest of Regional 1. And yeah, there's a few rosters that are very talented that I would love to see at a major, and Agility is probably at the top of that list.
Look, these guys have a lot of points and a lot of chances if things go crazy, because Tokyo Verde has to live with the pick they got. And all these teams do, especially during the roster changes. If that ends up going south for them, and if Agility can somehow get enough points to not just make the major, but maybe even overtake things in Worlds if things go crazy, I want to meet this team in Dallas. It'd be great. Go to Texas, high five some folks, see them. That'd be great. But either way, this has been an awesome time. We have a big future for seeing more of this stuff. Make sure you check out APAC even more. Check us out. We'll be doing stuff over here come this evening. So if you want to see some of our Rocket League, hit us up. But for right now, I'm Hail Monkey Man. That's been awesome. Quanzek, he's going to go to bed. I might actually go get a nap. You guys stay fresh and funky, and we'll see you next time.
I love you.